Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's class. Today, we'll be talking about the use of case studies in cooperative extension services, and we'll be talking about innovations in the diffusion and adoption process. We said we'll be talking about the use of case studies in cooperative extension and innovation in the diffusion and adoption process. The advantages of case studies in cooperative extension services. One, it encourages analytical thoughts in the student. It helps the learner to develop manipulative skills as they have contacted or they have contact with people and materials and places, so they could manipulate this data they extract from this contact they have with people. The mental adventure which undertaking case studies encourages is very rewarding and beneficial. Simple and topical case studies will prepare the students for more complicated forms of case studies in the future, as well as lay a foundation of understanding. These are some advantages of case studies. Through the working out of simple cases and the formulation of generalizations, students can gain necessary experience in understanding the operations of events, people, and society as they venture into case study analysis in cooperative. Case studies will improve upon the methods of existing cooperative practices as new ideas, methods, and practices should be adopted and diffused. Now, what are the challenges of conducting case studies in Nigeria? One, the dearth of data. There's a lack of data. We are very notorious for not keeping adequate data, and this is a serious drawback. Obsolete and irrelevant data. Some data we have obtained are rather obsolete and irrelevant to current days situation and realities. So another challenge is uncooperative attitude of government officials. When you ask for vital information from government agencies, they will usually not yield any results because more often than not, officials hide under the guise of Official Secret Act to deny such requests. All right. So we also have conduct studies in Nigeria has very high financial implication. It's very expensive to conduct case study analysis. Another challenge is that case study method is slow and time consuming. So if you don't have enough time, you can't conduct such an analysis. Case studies cannot be used for a large area or population. It has to be small areas so that you can do a proper analysis. At times, the information gathered may not be true. Moreover, case study outcome may not be utilized by the target recipient at the end of such studies. Now, let's talk about some sample case studies. Like now, there's a topic called the role of cooperative society in rural development, a case study of Farmers Development Union, FADU. Now, identification. Let's start. Farmers Development Union can be identified as located in Adegoke, Adelabu Road, GRA in Ibadan. Now, what's the type what is FDO? What type is it? It's an NGO, right? FADU is an NGO. So an NGO is an NGO committed to poverty alleviation through institutional and enterprise development of the low-income rural Nigerian, with particular emphasis on farmers. So this is the type of NGO, and this is what they do. Now, what is the area of coverage? It covers 29 states of Nigeria. Then who are the client? The clientele are rural micro producers. Now, we are talking about this same case study 3, history and mission. Concerning the history and mission, it was founded that particular case study, which is FADU, was founded in 1989 to provide development programs aimed at reaching the very poor and vulnerable groups with basic economic and social services for improved rural income, nutrition, employment, and living conditions. In addition to the above mission, FADUs activities and objectives are those that are community interest driven, emphasizing community ownership, create plan for long-term solutions, provide structure for integrated programs, facilitate and empower grassroots institutions that are service-oriented, support community initiatives that also emphasize quality of life, and building partnership with government agencies, donor agencies, NGOs, and community-based organizations and network. Now, still on case study 3, what's the management and governance like? FDU has a 17-member board of appointees elected biannually by FADU Delegates Assembly. The chairman of the board is also elected by ADA. The board has, now you see what we're doing here is that we're analyzing the particular case study in this study. And that case study is FADU, all right? And we're pointing out some critical things about them before the study that will make up the core of the study. So that's why you see all these highlights here. Now, the chairman of the board is also elected. The board has 2 committees, the finance budget committee, the program monitoring committee. Board members meet every 6 months, while the committee meets every 3 months. FADU has 4 operating divisions, namely resource management division, finance division, administrative division, and field operation division. Administrative division and field operation division. Now, FADU has a total staff strength of 346, of which 65% are women. Now, what is the financial and technical assistance they receive? Now, FADU receives financial assistance from AZE in Germany, EEC, Ford Foundation, TechnoServe, which is technical assistance only. FADU provides several types of financial services to its members. Each service is tailor-made to suit different sectors. There are 3 types of loan schemes: the agricultural loan for farmers, the working capital loan for members in commercial sector, equipment loan as well. So there are 3. FADU also operates several types of savings as follows: daily savings, weekly savings, monthly savings. FADU operates a group lending approach. Now, what are their non-financial services? FADU also provides non-financial services such as provision of training and dissemination of new but appropriate technologies and markets to its members. Extension services is also part of what they do. They work with communities to design, plan, and execute social programs, which include health, environment of the people, youth literacy for the people, low-cost housing, but they emphasize quality of life. Now, what are the results they have achieved? Now, currently, FADU has over 500,000 members, of which nearly 65% are women, and similarly, they have staff strength of like 346, out of which 65% are as well women. Membership span 29 states, and to date, FADU has 165,000 borrowers, out of which 70% are women. Now, the total sum volume to date is 100 million. Repayment rate is about 98%. And what is the future plan of FADU? FADU would like to improve on its savings mobilization in order to generate larger internal resources, and also to be able to meet the objective of its 5-year self-sufficiency project. Now, what is our analysis on these findings from FADU? In section 1 of this study, it is on record that a private organization, TechnoServe, donates technical assistance to FADU. We can also see in section J how FADU provides non-financial services such as provision of training and dissemination of new but appropriate technologies and markets to members. These are extension services. Now, another topic we'll talk about today, apart from the case study analysis we just tried to explain, is innovation. What do we mean by innovation? Innovation may be defined as new practices, method, ideas, and technique which give the means of achieving sustained increase in farm productivity and income. Innovation is aimed at discovering how to plan, exercise, and evaluate learning experience that will help people acquire the understanding and skill essential for solving farm, home, and community problems. Innovation is generally related to discovering new ideas or taking old ideas and bringing something new out of them. Agricultural innovation, for instance, passes through many stages before you can introduce it to farmers, e.g. as it concerns crop and livestock, all right? Now, an innovator must consider the following factors before introducing new practices to a rural area. Now, in any setup, it's like we skipped a particular slide, but maybe we see it ahead. Maybe it's a mistake. Let's explain opinion leaders at this point. Now, in every setup, there are local leaders whose opinions are well respected within the locality. Since opinion leaders are part and parcel of the society, the people understand them easily. So it is advisable for an extension worker to utilize local leaders in disseminating new ideas like innovations to the innovation in technology, method, and all that to local farmers and rural people. The people will get the message easily if it is conveyed to them by their local leaders. Due to their social standing in a community, local opinion leaders have their opinions highly regarded. On a lighter note, if you come out in the night, you will see big stars and small stars. Opinion leaders are the big stars. They allow communities, they allow continuity when extension workers is transferred. So they keep driving in the innovation to the people, entrenching it among the people, even when extension officers have left the scene. Now, diffusion and adoption. These generally concern the readiness to put what the farmer has learned into practice. The process of learning and adoption will be made clearer through a tabular presentation, as we can see below. Now, the first is awareness stage, then we have the interest stage, the evaluation stage, the trial stage, then the adoption and or rejection stage. Under the awareness stage, these are just the process of learning and adoption in extension. Under the awareness stage, learning about new ideas and practice is prevalent. Now, under the interest stage, that is where you get more information about such ideas that are being driven or sold to the people. Then on the evaluation stage is where you try it mentally, or you try out what that particular innovation is. Now, the advantages or more profit about a particular crop is showcased at this level. Now, trial stage is usually when you use such practice, all right, or try it a little. Then the adoption, after you've tried it, it may please you, it may not please you. So it introduces us straight to the next stage, which is adoption or rejection. At this point, you either accept and use continuously the innovation being introduced to you, or you reject because of trial state. Now, this is it. This is all I've been saying. All right, so this is the process of learning and adoption. Then we now have information source for these different stages. Under awareness, mass media is an information source. That is use of radio and television. You can use that to push the innovation to the people. Friends and neighbors mostly serve as information source as well. And then we have agric agent and extension workers that can also be a source of information at the awareness level. At the interest level, mass media as well as friends and neighbors can help at this level. Then under the evaluation level, family and friends can help evaluate such practice. Agric agent and extension workers can evaluate. Mass media can as well evaluate. Then we also have trial stage. Family and friends, agric agent, extension workers, mass media can also be part of this stage. And then we have adoption and rejection or rejection stage. Now, personal experience is the most important factor in continued use of an idea, a method, or an innovation. Once the personal experience of the people or an opinion leader is positive, the likelihood of adoption is there. Family and friends and neighbors' personal experience as well can aid adoption or rejection, as well as the use of mass media. Now, let's talk about attributes of an innovation. Innovation has the following attribute. One, it must be new. It should be practicable. It must be receptive to the audience. It must add value to the existing practices. It must build on the foundation laid in the existing practices. Innovation is usually a product of extensive research. Now, innovation should not be culturally and socially repulsive to the target audience. What we mean by that is that whatever innovation you are bringing shouldn't be something that the people will hate or goes against their culture or social life. Now, stages in the rate and adoption categories. Now, you see the first is the innovation stage, and then we have the early adopter stage, then we have the early majority catching in on that particular adoption. Then we have late majority, that's those that we gather and decide to use such materials later or ideas later. And then we have the last stage, which we call the laggard, the last to adopt any innovation. Now, stages in rate and adoption category. We have the innovator. They are the categories of people that go ahead of others. We have the, I explained these stages that we showed in a diagram earlier. We want to explain them a bit. Now, the first stage is the innovator. These are the people that go ahead of everyone. They are like the pioneers. They innovate. They try to make things happen. Then we have the early adapters. Early adapters, they are not ready to put what they have learned into practice, but they will try. These are early adopters. They have the following characteristics. They have farms, large farms. They have large income. They take risk. They are mostly middle-aged, actively seeking new ideas, participating in many non-local groups. Their source of information are maybe schools, research institutes, agri agents, extension workers, mass media, and competent farmers. Now, early adapters, okay, they are practical, they are respectable people. That is, they are more integrated into the social system. These early adopters are potential adopters. Potential adopters look to them for advice because they are the early ones to use such innovation. They are the men to check with before using a new idea. Their source of information, like we said, are through college, research institute, commercial farms, competent farmers. Okay. Now, who are the early majority adopters? They have the following characteristics. They have an average farm, interact with their peers. They are people of the same group. They interact with them. Their source of information is those farmers that have adopted the program before. That is adoption leaders, those that have done it before. Then farm papers where information is published, magazines, radio, commercial sources, agri agencies, and so on. These are early majority adopters. Then we have late majority adopters. They have small farm. Their characteristic is that they have small farms, small farm, low income, security minded. That means they are very careful. Usually over 60 years of age, they don't rush to adopt new things. They seldom participate in formal meetings. They adopt new practices only after the average majority have adopted them. Their source of information is other farmers, adoption leaders, farm papers, magazines, radio, television. In developed countries or advanced countries, for example, they use this television and radio. Now, they also take advantage of information from local leaders, peer groups, almanacs, calendars, and so on. Now, we have the last group, which we call the laggard. These also have the following characteristics. They are late to adopt an innovation. They do not adopt at all. They do not, or they do not even adopt it at all. All right. They are very local in their outlook. Many are very isolated socially and physically, or both. They interact with people with traditional values and ideas. They are mostly alienated from a true fast-moving world. Now, that's about it for today. Try to answer this question. What is the advantages of case studies in cooperative extension? What are the non-financial service provided by FADU, Farmer Development Union? All right, that's about it for today. Thank you for listening, as I look forward to see you in my next class. If you have learned from these videos, click the notification button. Please give it a thumbs up so that others can see it or will see it. Always remember to subscribe if you have not done so. Until next time, keep learning.